Sorry for the laughter. You know, obviously a little bit shorter in duration of practice, but a lot of football today. And we really just went out and played football. Felt like it's important to do that, as we've been talking about the last couple days. That it can't just be a light switch come game day. You have to practice football. We love the drill work. We love all those things, but inevitably today was just about getting out here playing. Got about 75 plays done at good tempo, and again in about an hour's time, which was really good. So find out today where we're going. I know the guys are anxious to find out and who we're playing and all that stuff. It's so obviously the suspense is building here for everybody, for all of college football, and we're a piece of it. So we'll see where we go and start the process of preparing for that game.
You obviously gave a lot of young players a lot of reps this week. Did any 2 or 3 guys stand out to you?
Yeah, you know, I thought Rashid Johnson at corner, you know, his comfort level is obviously much better than when it was early on in the bye week when we initially made that shift. He really stood out. I think Chris Brown on the offensive line is another player who is really developing and starting to show some things on that front. Thought Malik Dorton did a few things today, showed up in the scrimmage portion of it all. So just a few guys off the top of my head, those guys really stood out to me.
How about Jalen Green and Max Brown?
I thought Max had one of his best days today. I thought he was really good. You know, had a couple of nice touchdown passes. We put him in with the one some today, just to get him a little different look at it, throwing to some different receivers. You know, I thought he did well. That Jalen flashed at times, but then you know the ball got on the ground, in my opinion, too much here the last couple of days for Jalen. So that's something for us to work on with him.
Do you think the expectation has changed for quarterbacks coming into college programs about when they're going to start playing? Because it seems like a lot of younger quarterbacks are playing and doing well.
You know, I guess, you know, all I know is for us, it's putting the best player on the field at that position for us to be successful. And ultimately, I don't want to put a player on the field until he's ready to be great. I don't want him just to be good. I want him to be great. We've been fortunate enough. We've had good success with our quarterbacks, and when they're prepared to play and putting them on the field. If they can do it as freshmen, that's great. You know, I mean, more power to those teams that do that. For us, it's about the process and about developing them and making sure they're really prepared to play when their number's called.
Comment on Ohio State last night and being able to do that.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. That was impressive. You know, I mean, it was hard to watch all those games at the same time. You know, you're jumping around. The Georgia Tech Florida State game was a great game. The Baylor Kansas State game was going on. I mean, there was a lot happening, but that was a really impressive victory for Ohio State. You know, it just shows, you know, when you play as a team and you execute an offense well, what you're capable of doing. And then for their defense to play the way they did against Melvin Gore, that was pretty outstanding.
Do you sit there and kind of project yourself and your program into that one of those spots in the next few years?
Well, that's the plan, right? I mean, and you watch them, and you know, like I did, even just told the team, I said we're playing this morning, but you know, we're practicing this morning. We've been practicing for 3 days. Next year, I want to be playing this weekend. You know, that's what we need to be doing. That's the goal.
Juju didn't practice yesterday, and he's out here today making all kinds of plays. Is that just?
That's just him. That's just him. You know, we're starting to. I think you guys are starting to understand the stuff we really see from him every day, not just on the field, but in the building, in the classroom. That's just him. I mean, when he's going, he goes, and it's full steam ahead, and just a great matchup with Hina Dory. You know, I think Juju purposely lines up over there so he and Dory can battle every day, and they go back and forth. It's a great battle. It's gonna be fun to watch for years.
Let's do one more.
In about a half hour, Pat Haden's making the decision and part of that team. Have you thought about which teams you would get in if you were on the committee, or you know, which team would be? You saw.
You know, I have a vote actually in the coaches poll, so I know who my top 4 is. You know,
who are they?
Who are they?
You know, the 4. I can say who I picked, right?
Did you vote USC number 1?
No, I didn't do that. Someday I will be able to, but we haven't earned that yet. I voted Alabama number 1. I voted Oregon number 2. The number 3 team I voted was Florida State, and then I voted Ohio State number 4. I think that the way they've played as a team, you know, they lose their starting quarterback, they get to a backup quarterback. It took some time for him to get going. They play through the season with him, and then he goes down. Your third string quarterback can come in, and you have the performance they had last night in a championship game. As a team, I thought was really impressive. And it's hard. It was a hard decision, but you go through it all and you just look at the makeup and a team that had to play in a championship game. I felt like they were the 4th best team, but what do I know? I'm just a coach. All right, guys. Thanks.